that brings us to Basebrawl, a brand that GFW would still keep until like 2015.
All of this is lost on me, man.
It is very funny that like the very design of it, we'll talk about, there's some controversy about it, whether they should have done it, but like the very design by Mike Tenay, who apparently put a lot of this together, is that like a lot of people might not give a shit about the baseball stuff, so I'll get Bobby there so that everyone else will give a shit. And like that worked on me. It's like, I don't give a fuck about AJ Brzezinski. Bobby Heenan being here is cool.
I just thought it was weird.
So we mentioned on the December 3rd Impact, Bobby Heenan just shows up and says hello to Don West. He's here because the Chicago White Sox will be honored next week on Impact. So primetime special, there's a segment in the ring. Mike Tenay is in the ring with AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, and Sanjay Dutt. TNA says 2005 will be remembered for the year of Impact on Spike. It will be remembered for the X Division, and it will be remembered for the White Sox winning the World Series for the first time in 88 years. Bunch of fucking losers. 88 years?
I gotta watch Moneyball again.
Just to learn about baseball.
Yeah, also that movie's awesome. And as we know, I am a sports movie guy, apparently.
I've never been a baseball guy.
I mean, who can be? It's so fucking boring.
I went to a Blue Jays game. The back end of a Blue Jays game once. So I've attended a baseball game. But yeah, it's just cricket, but worse.
And cricket sucks too.
So today introduces Bobby Heenan, Dale Torborg, the Demon, and AJ Brzezinski.
I hope they called him the Demon in baseball.
He's only like a conditioning coach, isn't he? Like he wasn't a successful baseball player.
What the fuck? I assumed he won.
But yeah, I think he's the son of a baseball coach, Dale Torborg.
I'm sorry, I'm falling asleep.
And he kind of flopped as a young baseball player and then went into wrestling and became the Kiss Demon.
Where's Eric Watts?
That's true. What does he have to do with Kiss? Oh no, he had all the baseball friends. You're right.
Yeah, Eric Watts returning in the Basebrawl.
So they got a good reaction, but I think it was like 95% for Bobby and then 5% for the other two. They're all very happy. They present some bats and a jersey to the X Division guys. AJ is about to also present something to the baseball lads, but Simon Diamond interrupts and he's aghast that we're presenting awards to baseball people on this wrestling show.
Disgusting.
Simon Diamond is you.
Yes, exactly. I've often been compared.
Diamond points out that AJ Brzezinski has hit 1 in 4, and like if one of my boys only won once in 4, I'd get rid of them.
It's an amazing bit.
Yeah, and then there's a little brawl, and that sets up a 6-man tag team match at the pay-per-view, which will be Dale Torborg, Chris Sabin, and Sanjay Dutt against the Diamonds on the Rock.
Amazing.
Obviously, the aim of this is always to get on SportsCenter. It's always to get some local publicity or national press, and it seems to have succeeded to a relatively decent extent here, where they got publicity in USA Today, they got publicity in like local Chicago newspapers and the White Sox website, and even on some CNN stuff. So.
And AJ would talk about them on the interviews.
Yeah, they even did like a media tour. You're right, yeah, where Torborg and Brzezinski did like an actual media tour to promote their pay-per-view appearance. So they seem to get some like decent play out of it. Like even Brzezinski said, I've always thought pro wrestling was amazing. When they approached me with this opportunity, it was hard to say no. Being on Oprah was about as good as it gets, but this is right up here. So it's like, it's as good as Oprah.
Brzezinski famous?
Rich likes him. So
alright. We're definitely the two qualified to talk about this.
Like he was on the team that won the World Series for the first time in 88 years, so that does elevate you a little bit.
But like Hall of Fame guy or Sky?
Well, Simon Diamond says he only hit 1 in 4, so I think thumbs down for the Hall of Fame case based on the one fact I have from Simon Diamond.
I'm gonna go to Wikipedia and see if he did anything horrific.
No, has he been cancelled? That's always an important point. You're not wrong.
Do you know about batting averages?
That's what we're talking about.
Like in general, I got like a career.
No.
A .280.
Oh, so that's probably slightly better than .25. So Simon Diamond ever so slightly lied to me.
This dude's been on like 25 teams.
Yeah, people generally become like journeymen and just go around.
He's a 2-time All-Star, a World Series champion, and a Silver Slugger award.
I love my sluggers.
Personal life. Married to 2 kids. Oh, he's on a Raw.
Boo! Traitor.
He replaced Chris Jericho. Oh, he was in that. He did the Chris Jericho Price is Right segment. The greatest Raw segment of all time.
One of the rare good guest host moments.
And he returns against All Out 2007.
Yeah, they do another Basebrawl.
Listen, he seems like a swell fellow. And he works for Fox, so...
That does bring us to the pay-per-view in which the 6-man tag, as we said, is Sabin, Sanjay, and Torborg as they defeat the Diamonds in the Rough in what I believe is the final, at least televised match. We might have the Indies, but even cage match doesn't have anything else listed. So I believe it is the final match Bobby Heenan called in his career.
Which is kind of like, what an interesting little twist there. TNA, huh? The place where weird things happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things about the TNA video library where like you'd be like Randy Savage's last match, Hogan's last match, Chyna's last match, stuff like that, and then you just like dig deeper and you're like, oh, it's the last call by Bobby Heenan, you know, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. And he gets to do it with Mike Tenay.
It is a lovely moment. Like, Heenan gets a proper entrance. He's not just, he comes out with the baseball guys on TV, but here he gets like his own introduction. The crowd go nuts for him. There's the lovely moment where he's introduced with Tenay, and then he starts putting the headset in, and he's like, $5. And Mike Tenay's like, fuck off.
He's still got like that charm about him.
Yeah, there's a moment where like Tenay is like, we'll smart and West up sooner or later, won't we? And Heenan just completely deadpans, no.
He's still got that charm that you won from Bobby Heenan.
He's still sharper than most human beings, and he is the sharpest man in the history of wrestling by far.
Well, so much that everyone else bites his shit and does it bad.
That's crazy to me that everyone thinks they can do Bobby Heenan, because he is like a generational performer, like the quickest wit in the history of this industry. And then you get like Corey Graves thinking he can do Bobby Heenan. Fuck off. Yeah. So Johnny Damon and Chris Widger are in the crowd. I think Johnny Damon's famous. I think he's a baseball guy. He's a baseball guy, but I think he's a famous baseball guy.
All right, let me see what he's done.
Let me run through the match as you do it. Sabin and Dutt were wearing White Sox jerseys. Bobby puts over Mike Tenay and Don West as well as TNA. And like, in fairness to Bobby, like, he goes hard putting over TNA in this match as well. He's like, these are athletes unlike I've ever seen in 10 years in wrestling. It's some of the best wrestling I've seen on TV in years and years. And specifically, like, he's talking about like these young guys can do things that other guys I've seen couldn't. And like putting over like Sanjay and Dale, or Sanjay and Dale Torp. Yeah, he's putting over the Demon he's putting Sanjay and Sabin over real hard. So like he does go that extra mile here to try and put over the actual young guys in the ring.
Okay, I got a lot on Johnny Damon.
What did Johnny Damon do?
Better player.
Okay.
He won 2 World Series and was a 2-time All-Star and the AL Stolen Base Leader in 2000.
Whoa.
He also appeared on Raw.
Boo.
In 2009. He hosted Raw. That's what that extra World Series win gets you. You don't get to appear, you get to host. He was a special guest at the Orange County Republican Party's Trump Defender Gala in 2019. And was arrested in Windermere, Florida for driving while intoxicated and resisting an officer without violence.
Fantastic.
And had a blood alcohol of 0.30.
Seems high.
And body cam footage released by the police department showed Damon claiming that his arrest was part of being targeted because of his support of Trump.
Oh, fuck off, you cunt.
Yeah, this guy sucks.
Get out of here, Johnny Damon.
What's Chris Widger? You a Trump guy? I'm sorry, but I hate to keep mentioning WSW, but QTV Girl is main eventing this show?
Naturally.
What?
She's Australian.
Yeah, a lot of people are Australian.
Who's she wrestling?
I'll let you know when they enter the ring.
It's probably Cassie, is it?
It seems to be for a vacant title. There's been a lot of AEW guys wrestling Impact guys on this show.
War.
Shout out to TJP, who just pinned Brian Cage in a 3-way with Mike Bailey. This guy doesn't seem like a dickhead, at least. She's wrestling an Australian wrestler named Aisha, who I think is pretty solid.
She was on the Impact shows, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's good. This is not the main event. Oh, there's a 3-way? Jessica Troy's in this? Jessica Troy's also good. Wait, is that Cassie? I can't tell if this is Cassie or not. It is. She's got a rock in here. She's in V-triggers and fisherman's. God damn.
There's a moment in this match where Skipper tries to do the snapmare deal where you like lift yourself up in the air and come back down and pull them over into a snapmare, except when he's up in the air he falls on his head. Okay, yeah. And this is moments after Bobby is like, these are wrestlers unlike I've ever seen. The Skipper just lands on his head. Yeah. But yeah, the finish is Heenan gets up from the desk and distracts the referee, allowing AJ Przinsky to get the home plate from Johnny Damon,
who is the home plate lead stealer.
It all adds up. And he hits Simon Diamond with it. Cradle Shock, Hindu Press as Dutt and Sabin then pick up the win and present AJ and Dale Torborg with TNA Championship rings, which, as we revealed exclusively on the You've Got to Be Kidding Me Twitter account, AJ Przinsky still has.
We can add news to our Patreon bio now.
Yeah, $5 tier for the breaking TNA news. But yeah.
Can we do that? Can we make that post?
AJ Przinsky does in fact still have his TNA Championship ring. And as Bobby Heenan was presenting that to him, he started like biting on them to check the authenticity. Which is a good fit.
Because he was going to steal them.
Oh, he is a weasel.
I think Cassie won.
Fair play.
But then she got attacked by some lady.
Steph Delander.
No, she's broken her arm.
Oh.
She She went through a table bad.
Oh.
It's some other lady that I've never seen in my life, but she laid out Cassie.
The big story regarding Turning Point was TNA getting its most mainstream publicity in its history, with an angle put together by Mike Tenay that brought AJ Przinsky of World
Johnny
Champions.
Fairplay muttered.
Honestly, listen, this is Dave talking about his buddy. Mike Tenay put together an angle, and he puts over the angle for the amount of publicity. He goes, the Tennessee Titans one probably got more publicity, but
Definitely. An old mate who came in and beat up what's his face.
Brian Urlacher.
Yeah.
Did you mean Brian Urlacher?
Yeah.
Chris Rock?
That one didn't do it. Let's not pretend.
This got TNA covered ahead of time in CNN, ESPN's Cold Pizza, on 2 ESPN talk shows and throughout Chicago media, as well as covered in USA Today. And then they eventually got an article in Sports Illustrated, which included some quotes, a reference to AJ Styles, so everything going pretty well. Simon Diamond apparently talked about how one of the best moments of his career was just reading his name written in Sports Illustrated, which is nice.
I hope he has that magazine.
Tenay came up with the idea of having him to appear at the show simply to meet AJ Styles and exchange gifts, so it's like AJ meeting AJ, because they started calling him the phenomenal AJ Przinsky in the run-up to winning the World Series.
That's really funny.
So Tenay, who's a big baseball fan and knows both White Sox owner Eddie Einhorn, who is a former wrestling promoter, who has been an observer reader for more than 2 decades, as Dave pats himself on the back.
That's awesome, actually, though. There's a lot of wrestling connections in the White Sox.
Yeah, minor league strength coach Dale Torborg, who of course was the Kiss
When they
Demon.
won, makes you think.
Yeah, you got wrestlers in your baseball team and suddenly you win. So he was able to put together the first of a series of cross-promotional ideas between TNA and the White Sox, with more ideas floated next season. It ended up being very controversial internally, with the belief that it was going to be a flop, an embarrassing flop by many, including those in creative.
Jeff Jarrett.
Tenay, which I think was the real smart move, as I said, used his long-time friendship with Bobby Heenan as a safety valve, knowing the live crowd in Orlando might crap on the baseball, but they'd love Heenan. So they'd put Heenan would guarantee that the angles would go smoothly and get a good reaction, which is really, really smart. And Heenan, obviously a Chicago guy, so it ties together.
This is a lot. There's a lot about this. This is an intricate thing that Mike Tenay pulled off.
Nobody expected the angle to help ratings or add buys, but simply garner publicity, and it did just that, and created some media context and put TNA in front of people that it otherwise wouldn't have, and gave a story to a usually throwaway Diamonds in the Rough pay-per-view match. So everyone was like, good job. And part of the success people attribute to the hiring of Ross Foreman as head of publicity, who is still doing that job to this day in 2023. The finish was then played on SportsCenter the next day as one of the plays of the day and mentioned throughout Chicago media, as well as requested by CNN, CBS, and ABC. So it's one of the better publicity stunts, getting more publicity than Urlacher and Johnny Fairplay, though I would say the Tennessee Titans stuff probably blew up a little more, because it felt more, I think the Titans stuff felt more spontaneous, I guess, which is the reason that kind of blew up. It was apparently originally written for D'Amore and Team Canada, but they had no interest in doing it, so it went to the Diamonds in the Rough instead. And apparently Simon Diamond's a big baseball fan, so I think that worked.
Team Canada, yeah, sorry, we gotta put over 4LK.
We've got something much more important going on.
Hey, maybe that means that D'Amore was the one shitting on the idea.
He hates baseball.
He's like, if it was a hockey team.
Yeah. If it was a Canadian sport, we'd do it.